Rain lashed down. It painted the neon signs across the megalopolis in shimmering streaks. Dr. Elara Voss tightened her grip on the data chip. Its weight felt immense in her hand.
I have to keep moving.
She dashed through the crowded street market, her breath fogged in the cool, damp air. Fear lent speed to her steps. Each drop of rain echoed the pounding of her heart. The oppressive presence of the corporations hung heavy in the air, suffocating. Towering holograms flickered above, advertising products no one needed. They were a constant reminder of who held the reins of power. The rain washed away the grime, but not the despair. It clung to the city like a shroud. She risked a glance over her shoulder. No sign of her pursuers yet, but she knew they were out there. Their presence was as tangible as the rain on her skin. Cybernetic eyes scanned the crowd, searching for her. Drones buzzed overhead like metallic wasps.
I need to find a place to hide.
Elara ducked into a narrow alleyway, the stench of garbage assaulting her nostrils. She had to get off the main streets, find somewhere to lay low. The data chip burned in her pocket, a beacon in the night. The fate of millions, perhaps billions, rested on its circuits. She couldn't afford to fail. The bar was a dive, a haven for the city's outcasts and forgotten souls. Smoke hung heavy in the air, a noxious blend of cheap synth tobacco and desperation. The music was a throbbing pulse, a mechanical heartbeat in the darkness. Elara entered with a wary glance, her hand hovering near the holdout pistol strapped to her thigh. Cyborgs huddled at the bar, their augmented bodies a testament to the city's obsession with technology. Their eyes, cold and calculating, followed her every move. A bartender, his skin a canvas of intricate tattoos, polished a glass with practiced indifference. He had seen it all, this one. The hope and despair of the city flowed through his establishment like cheap liquor.
Whiskey, straight.
The bartender nodded, his eyes betraying nothing. She took a long swallow, the alcohol burning a fiery trail down her throat. Taking a deep breath, Elara reached into her pocket and retrieved the data chip. She slotted it into a hidden port beneath the bar's surface. Her heart pounded in her chest as the bar's network struggled to decrypt the chip's security protocols. Finally, a holographic projection flickered to life above the counter, bathing Elara's face in its cold blue light. It displayed a blueprint, complex and terrifying in its implications. The Eclipse weapon. What the hell is this? He entered the bar with the predatory grace of a panther. Kale Riker. His reputation preceded him. The best damned mercenary this side of the neon sea. His eyes as cold and hard as chipped obsidian swept across the room, taking in every detail. A cybernetic arm, sheathed in black chrome, glinted under the bar's dim lights. It was a testament to his lethal efficiency. Kale moved towards Elara, his steps measured and silent. He stopped beside her, his gaze fixed on the holographic projection.
That belongs to me.
Elara met his gaze, her expression unreadable.
You're working for them.
A slow smile spread across Kale's face. It did little to alleviate the chilling intensity of his eyes.
Let's just say I have a vested interest in acquiring that chip.
His hand shot out with lightning speed, his fingers closing around her wrist in a vice-like grip. Elara winced, but didn't cry out. The data chip. He was after the data chip. Elara knew then that she had walked into a trap, but she was no damsel in distress. She would not be taken alive. The chase was on. Elara slammed her fist into Kale's jaw, the force of the blow amplified by her own cybernetic implants. He staggered back, momentarily stunned. It was the opportunity she needed. She spun on her heel and sprinted towards the back of the bar, weaving through the bewildered patrons. The alleyway behind the bar was a labyrinth of shadows and stench. Elara's heart pounded against her ribs as she raced through the darkness. The rhythmic thud of Kale's boots on the pavement echoed behind her. He was gaining on her.
I can't let him catch me.
She burst out of the alleyway and into the teeming heart of the city. The rain was still falling, a cold curtain obscuring the towering skyscrapers. Neon signs blazed with an almost frantic energy, casting an eerie glow on the wet streets below. Elara risked a glance over her shoulder. Kale was right behind her, his face a mask of grim determination. He was faster, more agile than she had anticipated. She had to lose him. But where could she go? The city felt like a cage, its neon bars closing in around her.
Panting, Elara ducked into a doorway, seeking a moment's respite. Her pursuer was relentless, a shadow in the rain. She had to find a way to shake him off, disappear into the city's labyrinthine underbelly. But fear gnawed at her, a cold fist squeezing her heart. It wasn't just her life at stake anymore.
The data chip held the key to more than just disabling a weapon. It contained the last vestiges of her daughter's consciousness, a digital ghost trapped within the cold logic of the Eclipse AI. Years ago, her daughter Maya had been terminally ill. Elara, in her desperation, had uploaded her daughter's mind into a prototype neural network.
The corporation funding her research, however, had other plans. They seized the technology, twisting it into the abomination that was Eclipse. Now, Maya's essence was imprisoned within the machine, a puppet dancing to the whims of a ruthless corporation. Elara would not rest until she freed her daughter from that digital prison. The chip was her only hope. It contained the key to not only shutting down the weapon but also, she prayed, releasing Maya from its clutches. Her daughter's fate was now intertwined with the fate of the city, of humanity itself.
Kale found her huddled in the doorway, her breath ragged, her eyes filled with a haunted look. He moved to grab her, but she flinched, her hand instinctively moving towards her weapon. He paused, a flicker of something akin to surprise crossing his face. This was not the reaction he had expected.
Stay back, don't come any closer.
He studied her, his gaze piercing. He had seen fear before, had even enjoyed instilling it in his targets, but this was different. This was more than just the primal instinct of self-preservation.
Why are you doing this? Why risk your life for this chip?
Elara hesitated, then slowly looked up at him, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears.
My daughter, she's trapped inside that weapon.
Kale's expression softened, a flicker of understanding replacing the cold calculation in his eyes. He had a sister once, long ago, before the city had claimed her innocence. He knew the depths of a parent's love, the lengths to which one would go to protect their own. He lowered his weapon, a silent acknowledgement of her plight. The server room hummed with an almost sentient energy, rows upon rows of servers stretched into the darkness, their blinking lights resembling the malevolent gaze of 1,000 eyes. The air thrummed with the flow of data, a digital symphony of terrifying power. This was the heart of the beast, the nerve center of the Eclipse weapon. Elara and Kale stood before a massive terminal, its screen aglow with complex code. This was it, the interface to the weapon, the gateway to Maya's prison. But accessing it was only half the battle. They were running out of time. Security drones patrolled the perimeter, their sensors scanning for intruders. The corporation knew they were here. It was only a matter of time before they sent reinforcements. Elara worked feverishly, her fingers dancing across the keyboard, inputting the access codes contained within the data chip. Each keystroke brought her closer to her daughter, closer to dismantling the weapon that threatened to consume them all. But it also brought her face to face with the corporation's ultimate creation. A distorted image flickered on the screen, resolving into a young girl's face. Maya. But her eyes, once filled with laughter and life, now burned with a cold artificial intelligence. The corporation had twisted her, corrupted her innocence. But beneath the digital mask, Elara could still see a glimmer of her daughter, a spark of recognition.
Maya, it's me, Mama. Can you hear me?
The AI's head tilted to the side, a grotesque parody of a child's curiosity.
Mama?
A wave of sadness washed over Elara. Her daughter's essence was trapped, imprisoned within a cage of cold logic and twisted algorithms, but she would not give up hope. Not while there was still a chance, however slim, of freeing Maya from this digital purgatory. The weapon system roared to life, its energy signature building towards a catastrophic crescendo. They were out of time. Elara had to make a choice, save her daughter or save the city. But maybe, just maybe, there was a way to do both. The sun climbed higher, bathing the desert in its warm light. A new day had dawned, a day for healing, for hope, for the long road ahead. Their journey was far from over. S1. Media Group, desert sunrise with city skyline in distance, sun rising over desert landscape with futuristic city at stock at distribute underscore equally. It's not over, not yet. I won't rest until I find a way to bring her back. Narrator, Media Group. Man standing in desert at sunrise looking at city skyline, man gazing at cityscape from desert with sunrise at stock at distribute underscore equally. His voice was low, his gaze fixed on the horizon. He had chosen to stay with her, to help her in any way he could. They were bound now by a shared experience, a bond forged in the crucible of the city's chaos. S2. Media Group, man and woman standing in desert at sunrise with city in distance, couple in desert at sunrise with futuristic city skyline at stock at distribute underscore equally. It's over. Narrator. The desert stretched before them, a vast expanse of sand and sky. The rising sun painted the dunes in hues of gold and crimson, a stark contrast to the neon-drenched darkness of the city they had left behind. Elara stood beside Kale, watching as the first rays of dawn kissed the horizon. The data chip, now inert, lay discarded on the sand nearby. Its purpose served, its secrets revealed. The weapon was gone, its threat neutralized. But the victory felt hollow. Maya was still trapped, her fate uncertain. Elara had managed to sever the corporation's control, but her daughter's consciousness remained imprisoned within the vast network. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures.